What's up, guys? Denny here. I want to talk to you guys today about stress. The stress is this is a big one. This is a big one for me because I used to come home from work, just worked like a 9 to 5 job. I would throw myself into video games trying to escape from the feelings. Finish playing video games late at night, just as stressed. I would wake up in the morning, just as stressed, and I didn't understand why I felt that way. And I want to share some tips with you how you can solve those problems. I've got 3 steps plus a bonus one at the end that takes like 20 minutes. You'll find that you can sit down and play video games for the rest of the night for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours and actually enjoy it rather than feeling like you need to be doing it and getting away from the feelings of stress. The tips that I'm going to share with you are about decreasing stimulation generally. So you can think of stress as a form of stimulation where your brain feels very stimulated, and you could probably relate to this where you have all these thoughts going on in your head. You can't release the stress. So figuring out how you can bring down that stimulation is the goal before you go and add it up. So if you do want to go and play video games that day, you want to bring your stress down. You want to be able to handle that stress, that stimulation before adding more stimulation, because you don't want to be escaping from the problem. You want to know how to handle it while it's there. And it takes about 45 minutes. It can take about an hour and a half. You could do it in 20 minutes. It's really up to you. It's listening to yourself. And the more that you do it, the more that you follow these tips, the better that you'll get at recognizing what works for you, what doesn't, and it will become more effective for you over time. These tips are like pretty global. They're nothing new. I'm trying to just put them into a nice little resource for you. They work very well for me. I definitely recommend them. The first thing that I really got out of these tips was that I learned how to identify stress in myself when I was actually feeling it. The second thing was I learned how to deal with it when it would come up, and I could rely on these tools to manage stress in times that were extra stressful. So keeping my stress low on a day-to-day, when events would pop into my calendar, they might be more stressful. I would be able to use these tools, these tips, and understand that they would work for me, and then I would feel better whenever I did them. And thirdly, when you learn to use these tools, you can use them to grow as a person. You know that more responsibility can be thrown onto your plate. You know that you can handle it as a person because it's not an issue of stress whether or not you can take on responsibility. So what are the tips? The first one that I want to share with you is for when you are going about life, everything is kind of feeling routine, and you're just feeling down on yourself, on your life. Even though everything is fine, you just don't feel your top self. What I recommend doing here is picking 5 things that you are grateful for and saying them to yourself one at a time in that moment. Do you feel comfortable right now? Are you thankful for the people in your life? How does your body feel right now? How much energy do you have? Do you feel well fed? Do you feel stressed? Think about these things, and are you grateful for feeling a certain way or not feeling another way? And just take a moment to say these things to yourself. It'll take your perspective on that moment from feeling this is boring, I'm not happy, this sucks, to this is what I like about this moment. And this has the power to work wonders on your day. And if you can implement this every day or whenever you feel not enthusiastic about your life, this is a wonderful thing to do. The second tip that I have for you is when you're feeling stressed, take 10 minutes out of your day and sit down and do nothing. The idea here is that we get so stressed, we feel so overstimulated throughout the day that we feel like we need to be doing more. I need to be doing this. Once I'm done this, I need to be doing that. Then I have to do this. You can take 10 minutes out of your day to sit down and do nothing. And I mean nothing. The idea that it instills in your brain is I don't have to be doing something all the time. I can stop and I can feel good for doing nothing. And you will realize that you do feel good for doing nothing. So what do I mean by doing nothing? What I mean is sitting down, relaxing, and not doing anything that involves on your phone. We don't want to be actively thinking about things. You don't want to be drinking water. Like really doing nothing, just sitting and like staring at the wall in front of you. You don't have to stare intently, but the idea is you're doing nothing. You can close your eyes if you want to, but you don't want to try to go to sleep. You don't want to lay down or anything like that. And what's incredible about this is after these 10 minutes, like this feeling of relaxation will just wash over you. And the space that you were in before doesn't feel like it did before. It feels like you're occupying a new space with like a new perspective. It's one of the craziest things. You can do this for 5 minutes. I recommend doing it for 10 minutes. I'll occasionally do it for 20 minutes. What I do is I just put a stopwatch on and I just sit still. In a way, it's kind of like time out when you were a kid, where you were stressed about something, you were, agitated. You take the time to just sit still and let the feeling pass. The third tip that I have for you is to take care of yourself. This could be going for a walk. This could be going for a run. It could be cleaning a room that you haven't cleaned in a while. You've been putting it off. It could be cooking yourself a nice meal. It's something that you feel that you would do or recommend for a friend if they were feeling the way that you're feeling. And the idea is that it's not something that's instantly gratifying. So like, oh, you'll thank yourself for playing 20 minutes of a video game. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, you'll come away from that feeling just as stressed as before. Do something you'll thank yourself for. And when you wake up the next morning, you're glad that you did it. And lastly, my fourth or bonus tip that I have for you is if you're tired after the end of your day, you're stressed, and you want to bring yourself back to normal as quickly as possible, you don't want to feel stressed, what I highly recommend doing is taking a nap. So take 20 minutes, put it on your phone. I don't recommend doing more than 20 minutes, and just lay down for 20 minutes. I don't think I need to teach you how to take a nap. The benefits of it, you'll feel recharged. The stress melts away. It's incredible. Don't be afraid to take a nap. It's just 20 minutes, and the benefit is huge. Definitely recommend not letting that spill over into an hour and a half. Use your willpower. Get up when that 20-minute timer goes off, and you'll feel recharged. You'll be able to tackle your day. That's all I got for you guys. I hope that these tips help you decrease your stress, help you deal with stress, and help you grow as a person to take on more responsibility or deal with whatever comes up in your life or you're trying to add on to it. Have a good one, guys, and take care.